Oh, this is going to be fun. He's a brand new he's a brand new comedian and coming on stage for the first time, and he's a professional man, and at work they call him Dr. Glen. But tonight he's a stand-up comedian, and please welcome Mr. Glen Korsen. Give him a hand. There he is.
Hello, hello. Thanks everybody for coming out. So for those who don't know, I'm actually a pediatric dentist, which despite all the glory you may think, actually means for a living, children bite me. So when I first started becoming a dentist, I had the staff kind of huddled around the front desk one day, and I hear that they're talking about Lent. So of course my assistant, she calls me over, she says, Dr. Glen, what are you going to give up for Lent this year? I said, gee, I don't know, maybe Judaism. True story. So I had this teenage boy in my chair one day. I look at him and I said, bro, you gotta stop smoking all that weed. He says, Dr. Glen, how can you tell? Is it the stains on my teeth? I said, no, it's the joint behind your ear. So a lot of my patients, they come in, as you can imagine, and they're very afraid because they know that they have to get a shot. Maybe you've experienced this. So I constantly get the question, which you may have asked, is it going to hurt? So I always tell you people the truth. I always say, no, I'll be just fine. So I have a friend who knows that I always close my dental office on Fridays. And he calls me about a month ago, and he says, Glen, I need a favor. I need you to come work at my office this Friday, like you've done in the past. I said, no problem, but this time, I probably shouldn't say open wide before I do your patient's pap smears. So, has this happened to you, huh? It wasn't me. So in case you haven't noticed, I can be a kind of party animal. Nobody believes me on that. No. So when I was younger, I actually used to go out eating and drinking all night long, to the point where I used to get thrown out of places all around town. But the truth is, I never got angry at the bouncer, because technically, I never was invited to all of those weddings. So for those of you here who don't know me, I actually do have a private pilot's license. Thank you, Frank. He's the man here. He actually gave me my license. Hey, Frank. So when I was first learning how to fly the airplane, my instructor could see I was terrified. I used to grip onto the controls for dear life. And he'd say, Glen, relax. This is just a simulator. Well, eventually I got brave enough, and we went up into the air. And now I'm getting all lost. So we went, oh, hello. So we went up into the air. And what he made me do is, as all pilots have to do, is to practice these crazy maneuvers. So we used to have to do stalls, we would practice spins, coming in for a landing at these weird angles. But the maneuver I hated the most was the day I forgot my wallet and I couldn't pay him. He said, you need to bail out. That was a problem. So on a serious note, we were up and we actually had to make an emergency landing one time. And I'm looking out the cockpit window, and the only place we could see to land, there's a ton of people down there. He's like, dude, do what you gotta do. We put the airplane down. When we got out, my instructor goes, oh my God, look at all of these dead people. I said, what's the big deal? You had me land in a cemetery. So one day we're coming into a low approach into Republic Airport. And as we're coming in, I look out the window, and sure enough, there's a couple having sex in their yard. So we went around again. And again. And one more time again. That's when we ran out of gas and found ourselves stuck in the cemetery. So, I was at my mom and stepdad's house one day, and I noticed a big bottle of Viagra sitting in the bathroom. I go to my stepdad, I'm like, what's with the Viagra? Well, you told me you guys don't have sex anymore because you're too old. He says, we don't. He says, but you know your mother's car driving. It's scary as hell. I popped the Viagra so I have something to hold on to. So about a week ago, my lovely wife, she gives me a call. She says, hey Glenn, I'm on the way to the mall. Is there anything you need? I said, yes, I need you, naked, in bed, all night long. And that's when I heard my mother-in-law say, Glenn, you're on speakerphone. So, whoops, sorry, Mom. Hey, nice. So my ex-wife, she did not have the best common sense in the world. On our first cruise we went on, we were down in the ship's photo gallery, and we're looking through all the pictures, trying to find ours. And after about 5 minutes, she says, Jesus Christ, how the hell are we supposed to find our pictures? There's no names on these. If I have to explain it, ask a neighbor. So for our 10th wedding anniversary, I actually surprised my ex-wife with a fully paid trip for the entire family to go down to Disney to renew our wedding vows. She says, well, gee, you know, for the 10th wedding anniversary, I was kind of thinking maybe we should get a divorce. I said, that's impossible. The Disney divorce package is way more expensive. So as time went on and we went through this divorce, I tell my attorney, I said, I got her journal. And in that journal were all the names and numbers of every guy she had an affair with. He said, great, this is good. He calls me a week later. He says, Glenn, we got a problem. She got your journal. I said, oh, well, good thing is, the only women mentioned in my journal are the Golden Girls. That's my time. Thank you very much.
Glen Korsen, come on, give him a hand. Glen is the only person in this room who subscribes to Highlights magazine. Don't you hate when the hidden pictures are already circled by somebody selfishly taking that pleasure away from you?